Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube channel. Hope all is well. We're going to continue our best of 7 series with the Pine Tar Baseball Greatest Teams League. And it's the 1975 Cincinnati Reds taking on the 1967 Boston Red Sox. The Reds lead this series as we travel back to Boston 2-0. The Reds were victorious in Game 1, 5-1. And in Game 2, 4-2 in Cincinnati. They now travel to Beantown hoping to sweep. The boys from Boston have other ideas. On the mound for the Boston Red Sox, trying to right the ship, is Jim Lonborg, the Cy Young Award winner from 1967. He's good for 7 innings, possibly 2 more. He has automatic strikeouts on 55 and 77. The first 2 times through the order, he's an A-plus pitcher, and then the rest of the game, he is an A. For the Cincinnati Reds, hoping to take a 3-0 lead, Fred Norman, who got the save in Game 2 as he got the final batter out in the top of the ninth, gets the start. He can possibly go 7 to 9 innings. On the road, he's an A pitcher the first 2 times through the lineup, then he becomes a C pitcher. To the lineups we go. For the visiting Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose leads off and plays third base. Ken Griffey Sr. moves up in the lineup. He bats second, and he's in right. Joe Morgan bats third, playing second base. Johnny Bench doing the catching is the cleanup hitter. George Foster is out in left, batting fifth. TP Tony Perez mans first base and will bat sixth. In the American League ballpark, regardless of if there was a DH or not in that season, we play with a DH. Dan Dreesen is the designated hitter, batting seventh. Cesar Geronimo patrols center field for the Cincinnati Reds. He will bat eighth. Davey Concepcion bats ninth and will play shortstop. For the Boston Red Sox, trailing 2-0, Joe Foy is at third base to lead things off, followed by Mike Andrews batting second, playing second. The Triple Crown winner, Captain Carl Yastrzemski's in left, and he'll bat third. Tony Canigliaro is the cleanup hitter, playing right field. The boomer, George Scott, is at first base, batting fifth. Rico Petrocelli is at short, batting sixth. The DH, the Hawk, Ken Hawk Harrelson, bats seventh. Reggie Smith is out in center, and the switch hitter will bat eighth. Russ Gibson does the catching, batting ninth. And Jerry Mathers as the Beaver. At the ballpark, we have Remember the Great Sports. Check out that wonderful channel. Lots of great stuff on that channel. So here we go. Lonborg to face Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. Rose reaches against righties 0 through 40. The windup and the pitch from Gentleman Jim Lonborg. And that's a 2's gone nuts. That's a 22. And that's a single, as that is not a pitcher modification. No, that is a defense modification. So let's see if we can rob Rose of a hit here. A 22, and we'll just roll the red and white die to see where the ball's hit to. Red Sox have no positive fielders on the field, so this is going to be a base hit. A 24, and that's a single to right. As Canigliaro is a neutral fielder, you need a positive fielder to rob a hit. So Rose singles to right, and here come the Cincinnati Reds. In the first 2 games, the Reds have scored a combined 9 runs, the Red Sox 3. So Rose is at first, not a threat to steal right now. Fanatics of Film, hope all is well. Check out that wonderful channel. He was premiering a video today. So check that out. I'll be checking it out a little later. And here comes Ken Griffey Sr. Griffey reaches safely 0 through 39. Red Sox hoping for the double play ball. The pitch from Lonborg to Griffey. And that's not going to be bueno. That's a 10. But it is a pitching modifier because it's a derivative of 5. So a 10 for Griffey would be a single. Lonborg, an A-plus pitcher, first 2 times through the lineup. And a single turns into a strikeout. So Gentleman Jim blows the fastball by Ken Griffey. And that's 1 down. Red Sox need to win. They go down 3-0. It's pretty much done. Here's little Joe Morgan, left-handed batting second baseman, reaches safely 0 through 45. Russ Gibson sets the target. The pitch to little Joe Morgan. 71 to Morgan. Morgan strikes the ball. Ground ball to Petrocelli. He throws to Scott. 2 down. Rose still at first. And here comes Johnny Bench. Right-handed batting catcher. Reaches safely 0 through 36. Lonborg hoping to end this inning here and now. Foster on deck. Foster has killed the Red Sox in this series so far. Lonborg, the leg kick and the pitch to Bench. It's a 2, so that's going to be a 28. And a 28 is a walk, but he's an A-plus pitcher. First base is occupied. 2 balls, no strikes. We do it again. Lonborg rocks and deals to Bench. 3, so that's going to be a 33. And a 33. Quick check. That is nothing. I didn't think it was. So a 33 off the bench card is a walk. And this time it will be a walk. So 4 straight balls to Johnny Bench. Rose moves up to second. Bench is at first. 2 outs, 2 on. And Lonborg and the 67 Sox in a bit of a pickle right now. And here comes Speak Softly, Carry a Big Boomstick, George Foster. Let's see what Foster can do. Right-handed power bat. Reaches safely 0 through 36. Lonborg needs that automatic strikeout here. 55 or 77. He rocks and deals to Foster. That's a 56. A 56. Ground ball to second base. Andrews up with it. Throws to Scott. And the side is retired. The Reds strand 2. We go to the bottom of the first. Due up for the Red Sox. Foy, Andrews, Yastrzemski. If anyone gets on, Tony, Canigliaro. Foster made the last out. We've come up with a strategy not to move the whole field when moving the cards. That works pretty well. I'd like to thank Fan Addicts of Film, and remember the great sports. Please check out both those wonderful channels. Here's Joe Foy. Foy, right-handed batting third baseman, reaches safely. Norman's a lefty. So against lefties, he reaches safely 0 through 36. Andrews on deck. Norman gets the sign from Bench. Here's the pitch to Joe Foy, and that's going to be a 46. A 46 is going to be a swing and a miss. So Norman, who saved game 2 as he faced one batter to get the out in the top of the 9th, starts off game 3 in style, striking out Joe Foy. Norman has automatic walks on 55 and 77. Here comes Mike Andrews, Red Sox second baseman, reaching safely against lefties 0 through 35. Bench sets a target to pitch to Mike Andrews, and that's an 87. Fly ball out to center. Cesar Geronimo makes the catch, 2 away. Oh boy, Red Sox might go quietly in the top of the first, but here comes Captain Carl Yastrzemski, the Triple Crown winner of 1967. The pitch to Yaz. Norman fires in. A 56 lefty-lefty matchup. Yastrzemski reaches safely 0 through 39, so this will be the out that ends the inning. Ground ball to Perez. Perez tosses to Norman, and the side is retired. If you're scoring at home 3-1, you should. It's good for your mind. So after one complete no score here in Fenway. Due up for the Reds, Perez, Dreesen, and Geronimo. If anyone gets on, the smooth fielding shortstop Davey Concepcion. Gentleman Jim Lonborg, Cy Young winner, 1967, back up on the bump. He'll face Tony Perez. Perez reaches safely against right-handed pitching. 0 through 34. He digs in the right-hander's batter's box. The pitch from Lonborg to TP Tony Perez. And 93. What will it be? We shall see. That's a fly ball to Yastrzemski and left at the track. He makes the catch. And Perez is retired. He takes that turn back to the dugout. 1 out. Here comes the designated hitter, Dan Dreesen. Dreesen batted .281 with a slugging percentage of .429 in 1975. Left-handed batter. Reaches safely 0 through 39. The pitch to Dreesen. Lonborg tosses up 87 and 87. Curveball. Looped out to center field. Coming in is Reggie Smith, and he'll make the catch. 2 fly balls, 2 outs. Gentleman Jim is cooking. And here's the Red center fielder, Cesar Geronimo, left-handed batting center fielder, reaches safely 0 through 34 against right-handed pitching. Lonborg, the leg kick and the pitch to Geronimo. 95. Geronimo sends it out to left. Racing towards the line, making the catch is Yastrzemski, and 1, 2, 3 go the Reds. So the Cy Young Award winner has quelled the Reds' offense so far. As we go to the bottom of the second, no score here in Boston. Reds up 2-0 in the series. Red Sox desperately need a win. Due up for the 67 Red Sox, Canigliaro, Scott, Petrocelli, and if anyone gets on, La Hawk, Ken La Hawk Harrelson. Fred Norman, the lefty, back up on the bump for the 75 Reds. He retired the Red Sox 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. Leading things off is Canigliaro here in the bottom of the second. Canigliaro, right-handed power bat, reaches safely 0 through 34. The pitch from Norman to Tony C. 95. Canigliaro gets under it a bit, sends it to left for out number 1. Making the catch is Foster. Here comes the boomer. George Scott, Red Sox first baseman, reaches safely against left-handed pitching. Ooh, you know what? It's an out anyway, but I think I gave you the 0 through 29 against lefties. I looked at the wrong. Yeah, it's an out anyway. We'll just keep it where it was. It's a fly out. All right, Scott reaches 0 through 37 against left-handed pitching. Here's the pitch to the boomer. Norman fires in a 15. So a 15 is a single. Norman is an A pitcher the first 2 times through the lineup. So a single on the modification turns into a walk. So Scott fouls off a pitch, a line shot down the line. Just missed the chalk, but he walks. So 1 out, 1 on. Scott is at first, not a threat to steal. Sportsman Z at the ballpark. Check out that wonderful channel. Sportsman Z, you should have. I don't know if you saw how much of that when we did the Tom Brady to the Bucks and Winston to the Pats. Your Chicago Bears came on strong, my friend. It was incredible. So it was a lot of fun doing that. Check out that wonderful channel, Sportsman Z. He just did a video today about some sports humor. So put that in your queue if you haven't watched it, and check it out along with Fan Addicts of Film and Remember the Great Sports. So here's Rico Petrocelli, 1 out, 1 on, no score, bottom of the second. Petrocelli against lefties, 0 through 6 for a home run. That's pretty good. That's why we moved him up a tad in the order. And he reaches safely 0 through 35. Norman, the windup and the pitch to Petrocelli for 47. A 47 swing and a miss. So Petrocelli took a mighty cut. Second strikeout for Norman. But he hit nothing but air. OTDA is in the house. How you doing, my friend? All hail the Empire, for we know the Empire believes in freedom and economic growth, baby. Growth. That's what we like. Yes, I'm an Empire fan. Not everyone in the Empire I like, but certain people in the Empire I like. They can't be all a-holes. Alrighty, here comes Ken the Hawk Harrelson. He's a designated hitter. He's had a couple of pinch hitting appearances. I believe he's 1 for 2. Scott will be off on contact with 2 outs. Harrelson reaches safely against left-handed pitching, 0 through 30. Bench wiggles the fingers. The pitch to Ken the Hawk Harrelson. And the Hawk, 18. And that is a single. Harrelson singles to left. Even number. Scott is a moderate base runner. He goes first to third. So Scott off on contact with 2 outs. Hustles around second, slides in safely to third. So 2 outs, runners on the corners. Red Sox looking to strike first blood here. And boy, do they need it. They're down 2-0 in the series. And here comes the switch hitting Reggie Smith. Dave Gardner, let's go Mets. Check out that wonderful channel, Dave Gardner, along with HockeyTournaments.com, because sports will be coming back at some point in the future. Maybe not as soon as we want it, but it will be coming back. And also Digital to Dice, best podcast out there with him and Uncle Ron. So remember to check out Retro Sports Network also. Sportsman Z says, can I say I hated Hawk Harrelson? You sure can. You sure can. Arnold Hunter, how you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. What's up, Al? I'm going to put Brady on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cool. Cool. Tell us how those results go. We got a lot more fun projects coming up like that. I like to play games. I don't like to sim them. It's funny because someone might look at the video we did. It takes 2 hours, but we simmed a whole season. We talked to the chat. We went through basically the Bucks and the Pats, but we took a look at some other games too. You know, you saw all the scores, but and the playoffs were just wild. That was wild. It was a lot of fun. So here's Reggie Smith, 2 outs, 2 on. Scott 90 feet away from giving the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. Switch hitting Reggie Smith, batting righty off the left-handed throwing Norman. Reaches safely 0 through 32. Can Reggie Smith come through in the clutch? Here's a pitch from Fred Norman. And he's good. That's a 21. A 21 is a walk, but first base is occupied. So it's 2 balls, no strike. Smith gets the green light. Pitch homeward bound again. And that's not as good as a result. That's a 56. And that will end the inning. Ground ball to first. Perez. Ground ball to second. Morgan's up with it. Throws to Perez. And the side is retired. So the Red Sox threaten, but do not score. We're through 2 here at Fenway, and it's 0-0. Due up for the Reds, it'll be Concepcion, then the top of the order, Rose and Griffey to face Gentleman Jim Lomborg, the 1967 Cy Young Award winner. And again, we've come up with a technique not to move the whole field, and it works quite well when we move the cards. Bad allergy day today for me. Let me take a sip of water. Arnold, are you using 2nd and 10 for your Tom Brady to Pittsburgh? So here's Davey Concepcion, shortstop, right-handed batter, reaches safely 0 through 32. Russ Gibson sets the target to pitch to Davey Concepcion, 60. That is a 60. So Concepcion makes contact, grounds it to his counterpart Petrocelli. Petrocelli throws to Scott, 1 down. Top of the order, Pete Rose. Rose singled, reached second base, and there he would stay. The pitch to Charlie Hustle. Gentleman Jim fires in a 64. That's going to close the door on Rose. 1 hopper to Petrocelli. Rinse and repeat. Over to first, 2 down. So the Reds playing Pepper with Petrocelli at short. So 2 outs, base is empty. And here's Ken Griffey Sr. Sr. was a strikeout victim of the gentleman on the mound, Jim Lomborg. The high leg kick and the pitch to Griffey. 14. Griffey on the 14 will get his revenge. He singles to right. So Griffey pulls the fastball to right field. Griffey's at first. He's a speedy runner. He's a fast runner. Stolen base opportunity is a C, so 6th inning or later. So he cannot steal, per per the rules of the game. That'll bring up the second baseman, little Joe Morgan. He grounded out to short. 2 outs, 1 on. Griffey will be off on contact. Morgan awaits the Lomborg offering, and here it is. Pitch homeward bound. 93, what will it be? We shall see. Fly ball to Yastrzemski. He's camping. He makes the catch. As Morgan was out in front of that curveball, and the side is retired. The single doesn't hurt. We go to the bottom of the third here at Fenway. No score. Reds lead the best-of-7 series 2-0. Red Sox need a victory to climb back in this contest. Due up for the Red Sox, it'll be Russ Gibson, their catcher than the top of the order, Joe Foy and Mike Andrews. As Fred Norman back up on the mound, taking his warm-up tosses. Here comes Russ Gibson, Red Sox catcher. Against lefties, reaches 0 through 36. Can he slap one past the infield? Bench wiggles the fingers. Here's the pitch from Fred Norman. 22, how do you do? A 22 does go to a fielding check. Let's see where it is. Otherwise, that would have been a single, so that stinks. So let's not hit it to a positive fielder. They robbed us. And that's a 0-1 asterisk. Roll of a 0 through 3. If the original hit type was a single, the play goes to the catcher. On second or third base, the play goes to the first baseman. Okay. I don't know what that means. So this will be a play for the catcher, I guess, because if the original hit type was first base, no, it was a single or a double or a triple. Oh, if it was a single, I got it. If it was a single, it goes to the catcher. I understand. So it's a number in front of the plate. Bench is not a positive fielder. He is a neutral fielder. So the slow-footed Russ Gibson beats out the play. He gets an infield hit. It's an infield hit for Russ Gibson, and we'll take it. So an infield single on the number just gets far enough away from Johnny Bench. Bench stumbled a bit trying to get to it, and Gibson reaches first. We go to the top of the order. Kurt Berglund, the creator of these fine teams, along with James Forno, is in the chat. How you doing, Kurt? Hope all is well. So Gibson is at first, top of the order, Joe Foy. Gibson is slow. Foy struck out his first time up. Foy, bunt attempt is a 79. Andrews is on deck. But we're going to let him swing away. He reaches safely 0 through 35. Hoping he gets a bippity-boppity-boom. The pitch from Norman to Joe Foy. A good choice on our part. That's a 24. And that's a single. So Foy will single to center. Gibson is a slow runner, and he goes 90 feet and stops. Station to station go the Red Sox. So the first two batters get on, an infield hit by Gibson, and a solid single to center by Foy. And here comes Mike Andrews. Andrews grounded, flew out to center. Yastrzemski on deck. Andrews sacrifice. 0 through 88. He's going to bunt. Here's the pitch. They square to bunt. And it's a good one. That's a 41. Sacrifice table. You know, there's only two charts here, really. And my God, I can never find anything. And it's my fault because it's pretty easy to find stuff. Sacrifice. Standard sacrifice. Here it is. You got to flip. I was right. So it is an odd roll. Successful even roll. 41 odd roll. Fielding it is Rose. He'll throw to Morgan on the wheel play for out number 1. But Gibson advances to third, and Foy advances to second. So, sack, bunt, 5-4. So Andrews does his JOB. Dick Williams playing a little small ball, and here comes Yastrzemski, and they're not loading the bases up to face Tony Conigliaro. They're going to pitch to Yaz. Moment of truth here. Yastrzemski can give the Red Sox a 3-0 lead if he goes boom to the moon, Alice. Lefty-lefty matchup. Bench goes through the signs. A quick nod of the head by Norman. Pitch homeward bound to Yaz. 0-5. Possible double. Derivative of a 5, though. Norman is an A pitcher. Let's see if this turns into a single. That still would score a run. So a double. And it's a single. So it's a single. So Yastrzemski singles. Gibson comes trotting in from third. And 0-5. So where was the ball was hit to left. Foy's at second. He obviously advances one base, but it's a 0-5. So that is odd. And he will hold. He will hold at third, which makes sense. Ball hit to left. So Yastrzemski picks up another ribby in this series. I think he has 2 now. And the Red Sox take their first lead of the series, I do believe, 1-0. So Gibson scores. Foy moves to third. Yastrzemski's at first. There's still 1 out. And here comes Tony Conigliaro. Can Tony knock in another run? Flew out to left. The pitch to Tony C. 3. And that's not going to get it done. That's an 85. Oh, it might get it done. 85. He gets the ball in the air to center. So that's going to be an out, but they're going to send Foy. Foy's at third. Ball's hit to center. 0 through 70, he scores. He is out on rolls of 77, 88, and 99. Anything else he holds. Foy attempts to tag up. It's a 70, and he scores. So Foy scores, and it's 2-0 Red Sox on the sac fly by Tony Conigliaro. And Tony C picks up an RBI. Yastrzemski holds at first. W. Vogs at the ballpark. Check out that wonderful channel. Hope all is well with you, W. Vogs. So 2-0 Red Sox, who desperately have to win this game. They're down 2-0 in the best of 7. Here comes the boomer, George Scott. He walked his first time up. Bench pounds a mitt, sets the target. The pitch to George Scott. Norman fires in a 22. That will be a positive fielding check. We roll the red and white die. 19. Who's it hit to? 19. That ball goes out to right. And Ken Griffey. 19. Yep, to right. That's Ken Griffey Sr. And he's a neutral fielder. He makes the dive, but he cannot make the catch. He cannot make the catch. 19, 2 outs. Yastrzemski's a moderate runner. And he only advances one base as Griffey does a great job smothering it, quickly getting back up and throwing it towards the infield. So Scott on the sinking line drive has a single. First and second, 2 outs. Red Sox bats are alive here in Fenway. And here comes Rico Petrocelli. He was a strikeout victim of Norman. The pitch to Petrocelli. 47. And swing and a miss. Lefty. Hold on. Yep, swing and a miss. Side is retired. And that ends the side. But the Red Sox scored 2. That's a third strikeout for Norman. We go to the top of the fourth here in Boston. 67 Red Sox 2. The 75 Reds nothing. And I have to be very conscious at looking at the right column for the pitch, the lefty-righty. I might have met, but I just took a quick look. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. All right, so Lomborg with a 2-0 lead to start off the top of the fourth. He'll face bench Foster and Perez. If anyone gets on, the designated hitter, Dan Dreesen. Still the second time through the order. Actually, Lomborg gets stronger. He becomes an A pitcher. He's an A-plus pitcher the first 2 times through. Johnny Bench. He walked his first time up off Gentleman Gin. The pitch to Bench. 89 to Johnny. And he sends that ball to center. Smith makes the catch. 1 down. So Lomborg cruising along. This is what the Red Sox needed. Desperately needing a huge pitching performance from their Cy Young Award winner. Here's George Foster. Foster grounded to second. He's 0 for 1. The pitch to Silent George. And George, that's an 11. That's going to be a base hit because we do not have a positive fielder. So let's just see where the hit goes. An 11 goes to the positive defensive roll table. Oops. 52. Ball is hit to center field. Nope, he is a neutral fielder, so that ball drops in front of Reggie Smith. And it's a 1-out single. So Foster's now 1 for 2. Foster at first. Here's Tony Perez. Red Sox and Gentleman Jim Lomborg hoping for the double play ball. Perez flew out to Yastrzemski. He's 0 for 1. The pitch to TP. Lomborg tosses up a 47. 47 will be what the doctor orders, at least. That will be an out. Swing and a miss. So Gentleman Jim picks up his second strikeout on the curve. So 2 outs. Foster will be off on contact at first. Here's the designated hitter, Dan Dreesen, left-handed batter. Dreesen flew out to Reggie Smith in center. Russ Gibson goes through the signs. A quick nod of the head from Gentleman Jim Lomborg. Pitch homeward bound to Dan Dreesen. 38. A 38 is a possible walk, but first base is occupied, so it goes to a 2-0 count. Dreesen with the green light. Pitch inbound. 47. A 47. Swing and a miss, and the side is retired. Lomborg blows a fastball by him. So Lomborg gives up a hit but strikes out 2. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0 Red Sox. Due up for Boston. Not a big fan of Ken the Hawk Harrelson, who Sportsman Z is not a big fan of. Followed by Reggie Smith, Russ Gibson. If anyone gets on the top of the order, Joe Foy. So Fred Norman back up on the mound for the 75 Reds. The Hawk singled his first time up. Here's the pitch from Norman. 26, and that is a walk. First base is not occupied. So Hawk Harrelson finds himself at first one more time. Deja vu all over again, the great Yogi Berra once said. So here's Reggie Smith. Russ Gibson on deck. Reggie Smith grounded out to second. 0 for 1. Reaches 0 through 32. He's going to swing away here. The pitch to Smith. A 3, and that's a 65. A 65 against the left-handed pitcher. Ground ball to short. I don't think the 5 will be a double play ball. I believe they'll only get the lead runner on this. Ground ball to short. Runner on first. No double play. They do get the lead runner, Harrelson, so he's out. Reggie Smith reaches on the fielder's choice, 6-4. So 1 out, 1 on. The speedier Smith takes the place of Hawk Harrelson at first. And here's Russ Gibson. He had an infield hit. He's 1 for 1. The pitch to the Red Sox catcher, Norman, fires in a 53. And a 53... ground ball to second. 4-6-3 double play, and the inning is over. So Gibson bangs into the pitcher's best friend, the DP. We're through 4 here at Fenway. 2-0 67 Red Sox over the 75 Reds. Due up in the top of the 5th. For the 75 Reds, Geronimo, Concepcion in the top of the order, Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. Lonborg back up on the mound. After the first 2 batters, it will be the 3rd time through the order. He'll go from an A+ to an A grade pitcher. When Norman comes back up on the mound, he drops from an A to a C. So the Reds have some bullpen activity. Here's Cesar Geronimo. He's 0 for 1, flew out to left. Here's the pitch from Lonborg to Geronimo. That's not a good result. That's a 0-2. And that's going to be a single. A 0-2 right-handed pitcher curve. That's a double, a double. So Geronimo doubles down the right field line. Canigliaro chases it down, throws it back in, but Geronimo stands at second. So that is a double. And here come the big red machine. Davy Concepcion. Will he bunt him over? That's the question. Will they play for 1 to cut the lead in half with Charlie Hustle on deck? Reds have a really good bullpen. 5th inning. Concepcion against righties reaches 0 through 32. They're going to let Davey swing away. Here's the pitch to Concepcion. Lonborg fires in a 55, a swing and a miss. So they let Davey swing away, and he strikes out. Hello, Gerald. Hope all is well. Thank you for joining us. This is Go Red Sox. So we don't sack there. We let Davey swing away. They're up 2-0. The Reds are. Top of the order, Pete Rose. He's 1 for 2. He's singled and grounded to Petrocelli. Lonborg peeks over his shoulder. The speedy Geronimo is at second. Here's the pitch to Rose. Lonborg fires in a 68. 68, ground ball to third. Up with it is Foy. Geronimo stays put at second. And there are 2 down as Foy throws to Scott. Oh, let's look at the chart, actually. Hold on. I just was using my common sense. We rolled a 68. No runner on first. 1 through 6, runner holds. 7 through 9, runner advances. So we'll say Foy had to come in to get that ball. And Geronimo advances to third. Okay. I just did a quick look, so we'll correct that. Again, no runner on first. Ground ball to third. We rolled a 68, so you go off the 8, the white die. 1 through 6, the runner holds. 7 through 9, the runner advances. So Geronimo is at third, 2 outs. And here comes Ken Griffey Sr. Can he knock in the first Reds runs? Joining us at the ballpark, John St. Baptiste, one of the most wonderful human beings you can ever meet. Hope all is well. As John says, this is the only baseball I can get. Thank you, Al. Well, you're welcome. We got to have John back on the channel. He's just talk with John. Love John St. Baptiste. As well as all of his comrades in arms on the Cylon Johns. All right, so here comes Griffey. Gerald says, just played the 51 Giants versus the 75 Reds in a mixed league. Good stuff. Keep rolling. What card game did you use, my friend? All righty. So here's Griffey. 2 outs. Geronimo stands at third. The pitch from Lomborg, who now, again, I have to be cognizant of this. He drops from an A+ to an A, still very effective. The pitch to Griffey, a 183. That's going to end the inning. Griffey hits the ball out to center field. Going back is Smith. He reaches up. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. The shutout intact. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-0. 67 Red Sox over the 75 Reds. The Reds lead the series, if you're just joining us, in the best of 7, 2-0. They took Game 1 in Cincinnati and Game 2. Game 1, 5-1, and Game 2, 4-2. The man on the mound got the save. The 1-out save in Game 2. So Geronimo reaches third base, but goes no farther, as Gentleman Jim says none shall pass. Gerald says it was a strat league. Cool. And John says, whenever I would like, my friend. Awesome. We'll get that on track. Got to get Chats with Al back up. All righty. So Norman, now the third time through the order, down 2-0, goes to a C-grade pitcher. So he drops from an A to a C. Top of the order, Joe Foy. Foy has struck out, singled, and scored. The pitch to Foy from Fred Norman, who I want to call Greg Norman. I probably just did call him Greg Norman before. And that is a 66. You get your kicks on Route 66. That's going to be a negative defense check. We flipped the chart. So a 66 on the Foy card off a left-handed pitcher is a ground ball to short. And Davey Concepcion is a neutral fielder, so he makes the nice stop, fires to first, and 1 down. If you're a negative fielder, you give up the hit. Neutral and positive, you make the play. So Foy is now 1 for 3. Now I'll bring up the second baseman, Mike Andrews. He's flown out to Geronimo in center and had a sac bunt. And that led to 2 Red Sox runs in the third. Here's the pitch to Mike Andrews, and that's going to be a good result. That is a 0-5. A 0-5 against a lefty is a double. But as a derivative of 5, we go to the pitcher modification chart, and he's a C pitcher now. So I don't think it's going to be a bad result. So a double and a C-grade pitcher. That ball is gone! Mike Andrews jacks it over the green monster, and it's 3-0 Red Sox. Boy, what a change there. So he doubles on the 0-5. The wind gets a hold of it. So that's a double off left-handed pitcher. but it's a derivative of 5. We go to the pitcher modification chart. Norman, third time through the lineup, becomes a C-grade pitcher. This is the third time through the lineup, and the ball just keeps carrying over the monster. As a double, if your C through G turns into a homer, and it's 3-0 Boston, and the fans here at Fenway rise as one with joy, as their beloved hometown team seems to be getting back in this series on the Mike Andrews homer to left. Amish Elvis at the ballpark. How are you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. So the one-out homer gives the Red Sox a 3-0 lead, and this could be the end for Fred Norman. John St. Patisse in the chat says, what is cool about this is the Inquirer is doing retrospectives of great games in Reds history, so that's fun. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Norman will face the lefty Yastrzemski. Gerald says, the Reds machine having power failure. Here's the pitch to Yaz. Yaz is 1 for 3 with a ribby. That's a 1. That's going to be a 39 lefty-lefty matchup. That's a walk, but and that stays a walk. That stays a walk. No pitcher modification on that. So that is a walk. Yastrzemski's on for the second time. 3-0 Red Sox. 1 out. Yaz at first. And here comes Tony Conigliaro. And I think that's going to be it for Mr. Norman. Will McEnany, who's been in both games, but there's an off day, so he's healthy. Everyone's back up to snuff. There was an off day to travel. So Will McEnany on the road is an A-grade pitcher for 2 innings out of the pen. We really don't want to use Raleigh Eastwick yet. So McEnany is going to try to keep it a 3-run deficit. And let's give McEnany a different color. We're going to give him red. So Norman's day is done after the walk to Yastrzemski. Norman went 4 1/3 after saving game 2, the 1-out save. And he's given up 3 runs so far, but he's responsible for Yaz, so that could be his run. He struck out 3. And here comes McEnany. Actually, Tony Conigliaro struggles more against lefties than righties. So Sparky going with a shrewd move here. And here comes McEnany. He's good for 2 innings. And the rules in Pine Tar, if he pitches his 2 complete innings, he is not available tomorrow. If he pitches 1 2/3, he is. If you pitch a reliever 3 straight games, he cannot pitch a 4th. So cool rules, cool rules. Beardson 007, hope all is well. Here comes Conigliaro. If you're just joining us, 3-0 Red Sox. Andrews just hit a 1-out homer. The ball floated over the monster off the pitching modification. As Norman, who's out of the game, went from an A to a C. The pitch to Tony C. He's 0 for 1, had a sac fly for a ribby. McEnany fires in. That's going to be a 35, and that's going to be a strikeout. So a big swing and a miss by Conigliaro, 2 down. Yastrzemski at first will be off on contact. Here comes the boomer, George Scott. Scott against lefties reaches 0 through 36. The boomer has walked in single. Petrocelli on deck. He struck out twice. McEnany picks up the sign from bench. The pitch to Scott. 48. Swing and a miss, and the side is retired. So McEnany rights the ship, but the Red Sox get 1 more on the 1-out homer over the monster by Mike Andrews. So Norman's day is done. 3 runs, and they were all earned. So Norman went 4 1/3, 3 strikeouts, 3 earned runs. We go to the top of the 6th, 3-0 Red Sox. They trail in the series 2-0. Due up for the Reds, Morgan, bench, Foster. If anyone gets on, Tony Perez. Gentleman Jim Lomborg is back up on the bump, as we say. I was so good about not moving the field. I just did it. Lomborg, for the rest of the game, after 2 times through the lineup, he drops from an A+ to an A, so he's an A, and the way he's pitching, he can go 9 so far. But the big red machine could explode at any moment. Morgan's 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and flown out to left. The pitch to little Joe Morgan. That's a 2, and that is a 99. With no one on, it doesn't matter. No balk, no wild pitch. So it's a foul ball. Lomborg kicks and deals to Morgan once again. 3. So that's going to be a 73. Ground ball to Foy. Foy has it. Throws across the diamond to Scott. 1 down. Lomborg is dealing. Little Joe Morgan, 0 for 3. And now bring up the catcher, Johnny Bench. Bench has walked and flown out to Reggie Smith in center. Russ Gibson sets the target. The pitch to his counterpart, Bench, a 5. And that's going to be a 19 for Johnny. A 19 is a single. So Johnny Bench. No! What a play by Rico Petrocelli on the bounding ball. Bench is a slow runner. Petrocelli barehands it, throws to Scott. What a stretch by the boomer. And Bench is jumping up and down at first base. He thought he beat it out, but you are out, Mr. Bench. You know what that means? Go grab some bench. What a play by Petrocelli. Not doing it with the bat, but sure doing it with the glove. And that was the bare hand there. So what that is, on a 19, that is an infield hit. Unless the runner is slow. In that case, the shortstop makes the play. And Bench is retired. He is a slow runner. Lomborg tips his cap to Petrocelli, his shortstop. 2 outs, base is empty. Here comes Foster. He's 1 for 2. He's grounded to Andrews and single. The pitch to Silent George. And that's going to end the inning on a 62. A 62, how do you do? Ground ball to Petrocelli. Big smile on his face. He throws to Scott. And 1, 2, 3. Go the Reds. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Lomborg is dealing. Red Sox are up 3-0. Due up for the 67 Sox. Petrocelli, Hawk Harrelson, and Reggie Smith if anyone gets on. Russ Gibson, the catcher. Will McEnany, who's thrown 2/3 of an inning, is back in relief. And this will be it. So that'll be his inning in 2/3. He will be eligible for Game 4. So here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli, I think he struck out a plethora in this series. He struck out 2 times today. And because I'm curious, I'm going to look. And that's 3. As he struck out once in Game 1. And 2 more times. So he has struck out 5 times in the series. Boy, would he like to make contact in the worst way. McEnany rocks and deals to Petrocelli. That's a 1, and that's not going to do it. That will be an out. At least he won't strike out. 79. So Petrocelli against left-handed pitching. 79. Grounds to Concepcion. Concepcion throws to first. 1 down. So Petrocelli struggles at the plate continue. And here comes Ken the Hawk Harrelson. He's 1 for 1. He's singled and walked. The pitch to the Hawk. McEnany fires in a 47. Ground ball to Morgan at second. Out number 2 as he throws to Perez. 2 outs. No one on. If you're just joining us. Bottom of the 6th, the Red Sox have a 3-0 lead. And here comes Reggie Smith. Switch hitting center fielder, a bat righty. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to second and banged into a fielder's choice. Bench wiggles the fingers. McEnany, a quick nod of the head. The leg kick and the pitch to Reggie Smith. 5 will be a 42. 42, swing and a miss, and the side is retired. McEnany goes his inning in 2/3. He will come out of the game now. And he struck out 3. We go to the top of the 7th. The 1967 Red Sox 3, the 75 Reds nothing. I have an ear itch. I'm going to scratch my ear itch. We're done with that. Excellent. Due up in the top of the 7th for the Reds, Perez, Dreesen, and Geronimo to face a highly effective gentleman Jim Lomborg. So Reggie Smith made the last out. Ah, nuts. Double move of the field. I feel the earth move under my feet. Let's make sure we get that good now. There we go. Okay. So the Reds will have a new pitcher. And I guess we could use Eastwick. And as long as we only go 1 2/3, we're all right. Most likely we'll go with Eastwick. 3-0. You go 1 2/3. Then there's the off day for the travel. So the bullpen will be pretty much fresh. All right, Lomborg back up on the bump. Perez 0 for 2. He's flown out to Yaz and struck out. Here's the pitch to TP Tony Perez. And that's going to be a 43. A 43. Swing and a miss. Chased high and away. Lomborg gets another K. Second time he's retired Perez on the strikeout. He has 5 in total. Lomborg does. He struck out 5 Reds. Here comes the designated hitter, Dan Dreesen. Dreesen is 0 for 2. Flown out to center and struck out. Digs in the left-hander's batter's box. The pitch from Lomborg. Gentleman Jim tosses up a 52. How do you do on that 52? You know how you do? Swing and a miss. Curveball in the dirt. Gibson applies the tag. 2 up, 2 down via the K. That's K number 6. Red Sox fans loving it. Take care, Mr. John St. Baptiste. Thank you for stopping by. Be safe, be smart, and God bless. We will get through this thing together. So 2 outs, base is empty for the Red center fielder, Cesar Geronimo. He's flown to Yastrzemski, doubled, got to third base, but was stranded there back in the 5th. Gibson sets the target, the pitch to Geronimo. 33 is just a 33. So Geronimo on the 33, that will be a walk. Gibson tries to frame the pitch, but that is a walk. No one at first, so it is a walk. So 2 outs, and a walk is issued to Geronimo. Lomborg not happy with himself. Now bring up Davey Concepcion. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded to Petrocelli and struck out. Geronimo will be off on contact. The pitch to Concepcion. Lomborg fires in a 32. And he hits Concepcion as he comes in tight. Geronimo moves to second. And the tying run comes to the plate after Lomborg strikes out the first 2 batters. He walks Geronimo and hits Concepcion. And here comes Pete Rose. Rose 1 for 3, a single, a ground out to short, and a ground out to Joe Foy at third. Russ Gibson goes out to have a word with Lomborg. Petrocelli and Scott meet him on the mound. Meeting adjourned, players back to their positions. Red Sox have some milling in that bullpen. Some anxious moments here at Fenway now. Sox trail in this series, 2-0. Lomborg's ready. He's on the bump. He peers in at Gibson. The pitch to Rose. That's a 15. 15 would be a single. But he's an A-grade pitcher. So a single turns to a walk, but first base is occupied. So 2 balls, no strikes. And Rose digs back in that batter's box with that slight crouch, batting from the left side. Into the breach one more time goes Lonborg. A 4, and that's a 60. 60. Ground ball to Andrews. Andrews knocks it down, picks it up, throws to Scott, and the side is retired. The Reds strand 2. Lonborg gets out of the pickle. We go to the bottom of the 7th, still 3-0. General Jim Lonborg and the 67 Red Sox trying to climb back in this series. The Reds have the lead in the series 2-0. So Lonborg still tossing that shutout magic. Let's not try to move the whole field. There we go. Due up for the Red Sox, Gibson, then the top of the order, Foy, Andrews. If anyone gets on, Yastrzemski, and we got to give the Reds a new pitcher. McEnany's done, as he went an inning and 2/3. So let's write that in. He went an inning and 2/3. He's eligible tomorrow. He struck out 3. Gave up no runs. And it'll be Raleigh Eastwick who will see his first action in the series. And again, he'll only pitch an inning and 2/3. That'll keep him eligible for tomorrow. And then again, you have the off day after game. If you get to game 5, excuse me. So Raleigh Eastwick, he's a righty. And we'll give him the green color pen. So Raleigh Eastwick will come into the game. On the road, he's an A-plus pitcher for 2 innings. So he's going to get some good modifications, excellent modifications. And here's Russ Gibson. Gibson, against righties, only reaches 0 through 21. But we're going to keep him in the game with a 3-run lead. He has a -9 catcher's throwing arm. Eastwick deals to Russ Gibson. That's a 1. That's a 63. And there are no automatics on the Eastwick card, strikeouts or walks. So a 63 righty-righty matchup. Gibson bangs the ball to Concepcion at short for out number 1. Concepcion throws to first. So 1 down at the ballpark. Apicciata, he says, go Reds. Hope all is well, Apicciata. Top of the order, and Joe Foy. Foy has struck out, singled and scored, and grounded to short. Against righties, he reaches 0 through 31. Here's the pitch from Eastwick. And that's going to be a 13 to Joe Foy. A 13 is a single. So Foy picks up his second hit as he singles to right. So Foy singles to right. 1 out, 1 on. For Mike Andrews, last time up, he lifted one over the monster. He is 1 for 2. He's flown out to center, had a sac bunt, and the home run that gave the Red Sox the 3-0 lead. Eastwick hoping for the double play ball. The windup and the pitch to Mike Andrews. 58. Righty-righty matchup. 58. Ground ball to short. Runner at first. No double play. They get the lead runner. So Foy is out. Andrews reaches. As a good slide by Foy breaks up any double play hopes. So a fielder's choice, 6-4. Andrews is at first. There are 2 outs now. Apicciata says, suffering through wife making homemade apple pies. The cross I bear. Oh, I bet you that tastes good. Your wife seems like a good baker. I've watched some videos. I know it's making treats for the dogs, but I know she can make treats for humans too. Here comes Yastrzemski. Yaz is 1 for 2. He's grounded to first, singled in a run, and walked. Andrews, a moderate runner at first, will be off on contact. Eastwick deals to the Triple Crown champion of 67. And it's a 74. This will end the inning as Yastrzemski hits the ball to Rose. Rose throws across the diamond to Perez, and the side is retired. So Eastwick does his JOB. We go to the top of the 8th. The 67 Sox up 3-0. Lonborg throwing a shutout. As Appachatter says, she also makes human treats. Oh, I bet. All right, so back up on the bump. Jim Lonborg, so far, 7 shutout innings. He'll face Griffey, Morgan, and Bench if anyone gets on Foster. Griffey is 1 for 3. Struck out, singled, and flown to center. The pitch to Ken Griffey Sr. A 5. That's a 22. How do you do? A 22 is a positive defensive role. We don't have a positive fielder on the field, so that will be a hit. There are no positives on the field, so let's see where it's hit to. That's a 31. It's all academic. 31, and that's a ball hit to center. Past the dive, up the middle by Mike Andrews. So Griffey is on. He's now 2 for 4. And Griffey is a fast runner, but they're down 3. So he's going nowhere. As Appachatter says, quarantine goal is to maintain my weight. Well, we wish you luck. We believe you can do it. Here's little Joe Morgan. Morgan is 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a flyout. Can the Red Sox turn 2 here? Lonborg peaks to first. Now in at the plate. Gibson sets a target to pitch to Morgan. A 6, and that's going to be a 61. Right-handed pitcher. 61. And that's a double play ball, my friends, as that ball's a hard one hopper to Mike Andrews. Runner at first. It's a 1. So the white die is a 1, and that's 4 to 6 to 3 double play. Let me make sure that Griffey's at first. He is. And so 2 outs. Base is empty now, as Lonborg with the curveball induces the ground ball double play. 4 to 6 to 3. Nice turn. 2 outs. Base is empty, and here comes Gianni Bench. Bench has walked, flown to Smith in center. And then, on a great barehanded play by Rico Petrocelli, a ball bounding past the pitcher mound. Petrocelli snares it out of the air, flips it to Scott, who made one heck of a stretch. They got Johnny. He thought he beat it out, but he turned and went back to the bench. The pitch from Lonborg to Bench. 2 outs, no one on. 3-63. What will it be? We shall see. Ground ball to Mike Andrews. Over to Scott, and the side is retired. Shutout intact. Lonborg continues to deal. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox have a 3-0 lead. They look like they're asking Lonborg in the dugout, can you go? He says, yes, I can. So Lonborg, if he gives up 1 runner, though, in the 9th, someone gets on base, you have to take him out. So they do have bullpen action. Jerry Stevenson is set to get the start in Game 4. Sparky Lyle, B-grade pitcher at home, is up in the pen. He has automatic strikeouts 55 through 60 and 77. Dan Ozinski also gets up. Ozinski the righty, Lyle the lefty. John Waite, well, we'll save him for an away day. Plus he has 2 automatic walks, 55 and 77. He was the closer in 67, but I'm managing both teams. And you got to go how the cards are rated, my friend, if you hope to win the game. That's what makes all these different games fun. And Raleigh Eastwick will only go 2/3. So Raleigh will only go to 2 batters in this inning, so he can come back tomorrow. So Pedro Bourbon is ready up in the pen. And he'll be a C-grade pitcher. So Due up for the Red Sox, trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Conigliaro, Scott, Petrocelli. If anyone gets on, Hawk Harrelson. Tony Conigliaro is 0 for 2. He does have a sac fly for a ribby. Last time up, he struck out against McInerney. Eastwick deals to Tony Conigliaro, the Massachusetts native, and that's an 85. Righty-righty matchup, 85. Conigliaro sends the ball to center. Geronimo going back. It's carrying towards the triangle, and he makes the catch. Whoa, what a catch by Cesar Geronimo. And that's out number 1. Here comes the boomer. Scott is 1 for 2. He's walked, singled, and struck out. The windup and the pitch from Eastwick. 39 to the boomer. Righty-righty matchup. Swing and a miss. Chased high and tight. And that's it for Eastwick. So he's still eligible tomorrow as he only goes 1 2/3. These are per the rules of Pine Tar. So, I don't have to take him out. Here comes Pedro Borbon. So Eastwick goes an inning and 2/3. Strikes out 1. Gives up no runs. And I believe the Reds will come with Pedro Borbon. And it will be Pedro Borbon to try to get the final out in the bottom of the 8th. And Borbon will have a black pen color. Vote for Pedro. He's a right-handed thrower. And he's going to face Rico Petrocelli. Petrocelli has been a strikeout machine in this series. I documented that for you earlier. What I say, he struck out 5, 6 times in the series so far. Today, he is 0 for 3. First 2 times up, he struck out. Last time, he made contact, grounded out to his counterpart, Concepcion. Borbon's done with his warm-up tosses. Quick word with Bench. Bench back behind the plate, squats down. Sets the target. Here's the pitcher, Rico. Rico hoping for a hit. That's a 30. Righty-righty matchup. And that is a walk. So Petrocelli reaches. So Petrocelli walks. With 2 outs. And here comes Ken the Hawk Harrelson. Let's see what the Hawk can do. Harrelson so far is 1 for 3, singled, 1 for 2, singled, walked, and grounded to second. Petrocelli takes a slight lead. He's off on contact with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Hawk Harrelson. And that is a 23 for Harrelson. And that's going to be a walk because A plus A and B, if first base is occupied, it's 2-0. But Borbon, on the away, he's a C-grade pitcher, so that's a walk. So Pedro Borbon comes in after 2 outs, walks Petrocelli, walks Harrelson. So first and second, 3-0 Red Sox, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. They're trying to add to their lead because this Reds offense can explode at any moment. Here's Reggie Smith, switch-hitting center fielder, is 0 for 2. 0 for 3, excuse me. Last time up, he struck out. Prior to that, reached on a fielder's choice and grounded to second. Smith, switch hitter, digs in the left-hander's batter's box now. The pitch from Borbon. 65 to Reggie Smith. Righty-righty matchup. 65 will end the inning. Ground ball to Concepcion. He throws to first, and the side is retired. So some shaky moments, but Borbon does get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. Gentleman Jim Lomborg back up on the mound looking for the complete game shutout. And now we have to think, do we want... Foy is at third. He's only an error chance 3, but a negative fielding range rating. I like to stick with the error and not so much the negative fielding. But let's look at Adair. Let's go to Adair. Dalton Jones is a positive fielder at third, but he is an error machine chance. Error chance 8. Jerry Adair is positive at third, and he's an error chance 5. That's a 50-50. Well, he's neutral. I shouldn't say he's not negative. He's neutral. We're going to stick with Foy. We're going to stick with Foy. We're going to stick with Foy at third. We're going to stick with Foy. I like the error chance 3, which means anything more than a 3, he makes the play. A 3 and under is an error. So if we brought in Adair, who's a 5, it's 5 and under is an error, though he's a neutral fielder, so he has better range. But I'm going to stick with Foy. I like the error. I like the less of an error chance. And Lonborg now looking for 3 outs and the complete game. If a runner gets on, he is done. The last gasp chance, last call for alcohol at 2 you're through for 75 Reds. It's Foster, Perez, Dreesen. If anyone gets on, Geronimo. George Foster is 1 for 2. He's grounded to second, singled, and grounded to short. Lonborg takes a deep breath, arms down to his chest, the high leg kick, and the pitch to Silent George. That's a 2. That's a 23. Righty-righty matchup. 23 is a single, and that is it for Gentleman Jim Lonborg. He will not go the complete game. The 23 is a single to center. Second hit for Foster. And here comes Dick Williams. So Lonborg's day is done. He goes 8. Does pitch to a batter in the top of the ninth. Foster singled, so he's responsible for him. So far, no runs, but again, he's responsible for Foster. Gentleman Jim struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lonborg struck out 6, and he was what the doctor ordered. And if you don't know, Gentleman Jim became a doctor, a dentist, in fact. So he's in line for the win. He can only win it, can't lose it. And now, do we go with Lyle, who's a B at home, or Ozinski, who's an A? But Lyle has automatic strikeouts 55 through 60 and 77. Ozinski with that A would take more away, but we're going to go with Sparky Lyle to get these final 3 outs. Perez 0 through 35 against lefties, though. 0 through 34. Not a big difference there. And it's going to be Sparky Lyle with the automatic strikeouts 55 through 60 and 77. So here comes Sparky Lyle in relief of Lonborg. B-grade pitcher for 2 innings out of the pen. And Mr. Lyle will get the color red, hopefully as a stopper. So here comes Sparky Lyle. Later would be traded to the Yankees for freaking Danny Cater. Danny Cater! Oh, my God. All right. So Foster at first. Lyle's done with his warm-up tosses. A quick word with Gibson. Gibson back behind the plate. Here's the pitch to Tony Perez. Perez is 0 for 3. He's flown out to Yastrzemski and struck out twice. That's a 5. And oh boy, that's awful. That is a 0-2. And a 0-2 is a triple. So, yes, because the left hand. So Perez hits a shot to the triangle. That's going to rattle around. Foster will score from first, and Perez stands at third. So the Reds are on the board. This game isn't over, folks. Foster scores. Perez triples to the triangle. He picks up a ribby. It's now 3-1. And that joy that the Red Sox fans have now has become a sinking feeling because here comes Dan Dreesen, lefty-lefty matchup. Dreesen will be called back, though, as he only reaches 0 through 23. And Sparky Anderson will go to the bench for a new batter to face Sparky Lyle. And we will send up a pitcher to pinch hit. No, I'm just kidding. We will send up Doug Flynn, 0 through 31 against lefties. Terry Crowley, nope, because he's a lefty. Merv Retterman will come up. Retterman, 0 through 41 against left-handed pitching. So Merv Retterman will pinch hit for Dan Dreesen. Will they stick with Lyle? Merv Redmond against righties, 0 through 35, so either way. Or will they go to Dan Ozinski? Redmond, though against lefties, has only a home run on a double zero roll, which is a derivative of 5, and would not be a homer. It would turn into a walk. So Merv Redmond, Dan Dreesen's day is done. Dreesen was 0 for 3, flew out to center and struck out twice. And here's Merv Redmond to pinch hit. So the pinch hitter, Merv Redmond. No outs, 3-1. Perez stands at third. Lyle on the mound. He's given up a single and a triple. Now a face. The right-handed batting pinch hitter, Merv Redmond. Ken Castro at the ballpark. Hope all is well. Can 67 Red Sox hold on here? They're down 2 on the series. Lyle. A bead of sweat coming down his brow. I don't know if he's wearing a bra. I would hope not. But you know what? If it makes him happy and he's going to strike this guy out, I'm all for it. Here's the pitch to Merv Redmond. And that's an 11. Oh, my God. And an 11 goes to a positive defensive roll table. We don't have a positive fielder. So let's see where this base hit will be. It's going to be a 3-2 ball game, folks. 92. A 92 is out. Is a ball hit to Joe Foy. He is not positive, and that ball goes into left field past the dive of Foy. Oh, boy. It's now a 3-2 ball game, so Merv Redmond with a pinch hit single. And that scores Tony Perez. It's 3-2. Lyle has given up 3 consecutive hits. Redmond clapping his hands at first with the RBI. He represents the tying run at first base, a moderate runner. And here we go, Cesar Geronimo, lefty-lefty matchup. And Lyle will stay in for Geronimo because they're not going to yank Geronimo. No, I would not think they would pinch hit for Cesar Geronimo. He's 1 for 2. He's doubled, flown to left, and walked in his last plate appearance. This could be it for Sparky. Red Sox had a 3-0 lead going into the top of the ninth. Here's the pitcher, Geronimo. Will he bail out the Reds? 34. Swing and a miss. So Sparky Lyle picks up a desperately needed out. 1 out. Redmond, the tying run at first. Double play ends it here. And here comes Davey Concepcion. Concepcion reaches 0 through 30 against lefties. Lyle's got to bear down. He's given up 3 hits and 2 runs, hoping for the double play ball. Here's a slider of death from Sparky Lyle. 77. Oh, God damn it. 77. That's something. I know that's something. 77. No, it's not. That's a strikeout. What the hell am I saying? That is a K. So that's a 6. We go blue die. 77. Lyle strikes out Concepcion. The Red Sox 1 out away. I thought that was a fielding check thing. I was like, ugh, sinking fielding. So a 77 on the Lyle card. Lyle has automatic strikeouts, 55 through 60 and 77. Holy poop. Lyle, with a lot of agita moments, can now get rid of all that agita, all that heartburn. But now he must face Pete Rose. Rose, against left-handed pitching, 0 through 37. Against righties, 0 through 40. So Lyle could get what we would call a traumatic save here. Johnny Greenhands, our good friend from Ireland. Hope all is well. Sir Al, the true prince of baseball, Eros Westeros. Drawbridge Media says, hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. Johnny, how you doing there? Is everyone safe, my friend? Everyone safe? Your family, everybody? All right. So Pete Rose, it comes down to Pete Rose, 2 outs, tying run at first in Merv Redmond. And now, do we have a fast runner? Redmond is a moderate runner. Let's quickly go through. Nope. So Redderman will run. Appachatter says, traumatic or dramatic? Well, if the Red Sox lose, it's traumatic for me. I know I play as both teams, but I really would like the 67 not to get swept in this series. At least take one with Gentleman Jim on the mound. All right, Charlie Hustle, 1 for 4, a single, a ground out to short, a ground out to third, and a ground out to second. How big was a Mike Andrews homer now? Off the pitching grade change, he floats it over the monster, and that was back in the 5th inning. That's the winning run right now. Rose digs in, switch hitter batting righty now. The lefty Lyle on the mound. Everyone wishing, wanting, praying for this 3rd and final out here in Fenway. Lyle, the leg kick, and the pitch to Rose. 57. Swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. Sparky Lyle, after having many a Malox and Ajita moment, he comes in, single, triple, single. The Reds score 2 runs. Lyle says, that's okay, folks. Everyone stay calm. He strikes out Geronimo, strikes out Concepcion, and strikes out Charlie Hustle. The Red Sox take Game 3 in Malox moment fashion, but they hold on. They give up 2 in the top of the 9th, but hold on to win 3-2. Wow. So one of those runs goes to Lomborg, and 2 go to Lyle. But Lyle strikes out the side after. So Lomborg gets the win. Lyle gets the heartburn save. Shades of Craig Kimbrell in 2018 at the end of the season. The loss goes to the starter, Fred Norman. Remember, Norman got the 1-out save in Game 2 back in Cincinnati. Started Game 3. There was an off day. Only pitched to 1 batter. So he's a losing pitcher. And the Red Sox are back in this series. That was a fun, great game. So I'd like to thank Johnny Greenhands, Appachatta, Drawbridge Media. Excuse me, sorry about that. DJ John 44, how you doing? He says, when there's a virus shutting down the world, there ain't nothing better than listening to Al Red Sox fan. Well, thank you. Ken Castro, like to thank. We're going to thank people. Sometimes I don't at the end because it's late. I usually stream late. John St. Baptiste was here earlier. Gerald Carmeyer. Amish Elvis. W. Voggs. Kurt Berglund, one of the wonderful creators of this game, Pine Tar Baseball. Check it out. Sportsman Z, Dave Gardner, OTDA, all hail the Empire. Remember the great sports. Thank you very much. What a fun game. What a fun game. Red Sox, thank God. The 1967 Red Sox, thank you, God. You didn't let Gentleman Jim Lomborg lose and crush my heart. So the 67 Red Sox win Game 3 in Fenway, and boy, did they need it. 3-2. The Reds still lead the series, though, 2-1. Up next, when it comes to Pine Tar Baseball, we've got the 76 Yankees leading 2-0 against going back to New York looking for the sweep against the 65 Dodgers. I have to say, I'm not a Yankee fan, but they're fun to manage. And I've said this before, not a Yankee fan, but I loved Billy Martin. I wanted Billy Martin so desperately to manage the Red Sox. So thank you very much. Health and happiness. Be safe. Stay smart. We'll get through this coronavirus together, okay? I love you all. God bless. You know what's coming, folks. Peace! And I'd like to say hello to MJ. And salute. Red Sox win 3-2. And thank you for the subscription, MJ.